Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to the GM. It is your guy, Boulanger. Up next on the GM, AFC Free Agency Risers and Fallers. Do me a quick favor, hit like. If it is your first time checking out the GM, hit subscribe. Also, hit the notification bell so that you get updates when we upload new content. Let's talk about it. So, we're going to take a tour around the AFC as we are 5 days into free agency, 2 days of tampering, and 3 days of actual free agency signings. And there's been a lot of movement, trades, releases, so on and so forth. So let's start this tour in the AFC East division. Let's start with the Buffalo Bills. The Buffalo Bills are the champs of this division from last season. A team that got off to a bad start, seemed to be struggling. Josh Allen turning the ball over, and they kind of hit the panic button and came to life and won the division, capturing the second seed in the AFC. And a couple of weeks ago, it looked as if the Buffalo Bills were imploding. They were getting rid of a lot of big name guys from their defense and even their offensive line. And a lot of people were pointing and giggling as it looks like they had fallen on their own sword. But really, what they were doing was creating cap space and getting rid of dead and dying contracts, contracts that were big in salary, but not really producing on the field as much as they used to. And so when you look at what the Buffalo Bills have done this offseason, they've sustained their offensive line. They brought in a few more pieces. They sustained their defensive trenches and then maintained their young depth in other parts of their defense. And so I think their biggest signing this offseason has been Curtis Samuel. Yeah, Curtis Samuel, a guy that most people don't know about unless you um, have watched him from the beginning of his career, but he's a really solid wide receiver. He can move the chains, he can catch the intermediate, the deep ball, the slant, and he can do some things out of the backfield. I think he's going to be an upgrade over Gabe Davis, who they lost to, I believe it was the Jacksonville Jaguars. And so I think that Curtis Samuel was never able to reach his full potential because of bad quarterback play. I think now that he's with the Buffalo Bills, I think that you will see him blossom and he'll be a real threat for this Bills team. Buffalo is a riser. Let's jump to the Miami Dolphins, the team that imploded last year and lost their way. And they, made some big releases, one of which was Xavier Howard. And it looked like that they were going to have to make a lot of cuts and have a lot of cap casualties, but they did what they needed to do, and they replaced Xavier Howard with a big signing for them in Kendall Fuller, and then they also brought in Shaq Barrett to provide pass rush depth while Bradley Chubb, that's his name, while Bradley Chubb is recovering. And so I think the Miami Dolphins are a riser, right? I think they have to be a riser and they have to make some other moves simply because Tua Tagovailoa is in a contract year and they have to know whether they're going to invest long term into him or move on. But the question would be for the Miami Dolphins, where do they go from Tua, right? You've seen all the young talent be traded away this year, Sam Howell, Mac Jones, so on and so forth. And so there's really nowhere to go from Tua except to the draft. And I don't see the Miami Dolphins with Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle hitting the reset button at quarterback and going with a rookie. So at this point in time, I think the Miami Dolphins is a rising team. The New England Patriots is certainly a faller. They've certainly began to burn down to the ground. They hit reset with the head coach, moving on from Bill Belichick. They hit reset at quarterback, moving on from Mac Jones. And I think that you're not going to see them make a whole lot of moves in free agency, not giving out a whole lot of big contracts. And they're going to work to build this team through the draft. The New England Patriots have definitely fallen on hard times, and it may be a while before you see them get up and fight again. They are definitely a faller. And then last but not least is the New York Jets, who made an all-in move getting Aaron Rodgers last year, a 39, then 40-year-old when the season started quarterback who tore his Achilles last year. He worked hard, got back, but did not play. And so I think at this point, what you've seen the New York Jets do is make a real effort to build an offensive line in front of him. They picked up Tyron Smith, big signing. They picked up Simpson from the Baltimore Ravens, and then they traded for Morgan Moses, putting some veterans in front of Aaron Rodgers to solidify that offensive line. I think those are the biggest signings for the Jets. I think they are certainly a team on the rise as they finally are going to have an opportunity to see what Aaron Rodgers can do with this young, talented roster. So that's the AFC East. You guys let me know who the risers and fallers is, um, who the risers and fallers are in your mind, and who you think the biggest signings were in this division. I'm your guy Boulanger. This is the GM, and I'm out.